Since she was a little girl, Amanda kept a secret from her father, not a small one, but the kind of truth that could change everything. They were always incredibly close, the kind of bond that made people say nothing could ever come between them. But behind every hug and every smile, there was a silent lie growing stronger year after year. Have you ever had to lie to protect someone you love? Ever felt like telling the truth would ruin the very thing you were trying to preserve? Amanda felt that every single day, and when her father finally found out, it was in the worst way possible. Stay with me until the end, because this story is going to stay with you. Amanda always looked like the kind of daughter every father dreamed of. Respectful, caring, always with a smile that lit up the room. But behind that perfect image, there was a secret that weighed on her every single day. A secret she kept hidden, not because she didn't love her father, but because she loved him too much to hurt him. She was barely 12 when her mother whispered the truth into her ear one rainy night. "He's not your real father," her mother had said, with eyes filled with regret. Amanda remembered that moment like it was yesterday. Her world tilted. Everything she knew and trusted suddenly felt unstable. But instead of reacting, she nodded and promised never to tell. From that day on, every hug, every "I love you," every father-daughter moment they shared carried a shadow Amanda couldn't shake off. He didn't know, and he loved her with every piece of his heart. That made it harder. That made it hurt more. Years passed, and the secret turned into a silent scream inside her. She almost told him once, the night he stayed up to help her finish a school project. He was tired, but still smiled at her with pride. Her heart ached with guilt. How could I take this man's happiness away? She thought. Amanda believed that protecting him from the truth was the most loving thing she could do. But secrets have a way of surfacing, especially the ones that were never meant to be kept. And the day that secret came out, it didn't just break his heart, it broke her too. It was a sunny afternoon when everything unraveled. Amanda had just turned 22. She was getting ready to move to another city for a new job opportunity, and her parents were helping her pack. In the middle of the closet, tucked in an old box, her father found a letter. A letter Amanda had written to herself years ago, when the guilt had overwhelmed her and she needed to put the truth on paper. He read the first lines before she even realized what he was holding. "He's not my real father," it began. Amanda froze. The world around her slowed down. He looked up at her, letter trembling in his hands, his expression unreadable at first. Then devastated. "Amanda, what is this?" His voice cracked, barely a whisper. Her mother rushed into the room, instantly realizing what had happened. Amanda's knees buckled. She tried to speak, to explain, but no words came out. The secret she'd guarded so carefully had finally broken free, in the worst way possible. He didn't yell, he didn't ask questions, he just walked out the door. And that silence was louder than anything Amanda had ever heard. That day, she lost. More than her secret. She lost the only man who had never once made her feel like anything less than his daughter. For days, he didn't come back. And when he finally did, the warmth in his eyes had vanished. He looked tired, hurt, not angry, just hollow. He told her he needed time, that he didn't know what to believe anymore. Amanda sat alone in her empty room that night, surrounded by half-packed boxes, wondering if love could survive betrayal, even if it came from a place of love. Amanda tried everything she could to fix what had been broken. She wrote him a letter, poured out every emotion, every reason why she had kept the secret. She told him how much he meant to her, how she never once stopped seeing him as her real father, no matter what biology said. But days turned into weeks, and the silence between them only grew heavier. One evening she found him in the garage, sitting quietly on an old chair, staring at nothing. She approached slowly, unsure if she should speak. He didn't look at her, but he finally broke the silence. I raised you. I was there when you had nightmares. I taught you how to ride a bike. How could you think I needed to be protected from the truth? Amanda's throat tightened. His voice wasn't angry. It was filled with something worse. Disappointment. He continued, I would have loved you just the same, Amanda. You didn't need to lie for me to stay your father. In that moment, she realized something she hadn't understood all those years. The secret hadn't protected him. It had robbed them both of something honest. And now that wound would take time to heal, if it ever did. Still, Amanda didn't give up. She showed up. She listened. She gave him space, but also reminded him, gently, consistently, that their love didn't come from DNA. It came from a million small moments of care, of sacrifice, of real, unshakable presence. If this story has touched you in any way, take a moment to like this video and share it with someone who needs to hear this. You never know who might be carrying a silent burden. As months passed, something began to shift. Amanda's father didn't speak much, but he stopped pulling away. He started joining her for coffee in the mornings again, sitting quietly at the kitchen table while she talked about her day. It wasn't the same as before, but it was something, a flicker of warmth in the cold space between them. Then came her birthday. She wasn't expecting anything, just a quiet dinner with her mom. But when she walked into the living room, there he was, holding a small, worn-out photo album. I thought you might want to see how much you've always been my daughter, he said, placing it gently into her hands. Each page was filled with memories. First steps, Halloween costumes, her first day of school, every smile, every hug, captured through his eyes. She flipped through the pages, tears running freely down her cheeks. He hadn't given up on her, not completely, and that meant everything. She hugged him, tighter than she ever had before. He didn't say a word, but he didn't need to. That embrace said what neither of them had been able to. We're still here. We're still family. That night, Amanda realized forgiveness isn't a moment, it's a process. And love doesn't vanish when it's shaken. Sometimes it comes back quieter, slower, but stronger than before. Could they ever go back to how things were? Maybe not, but they could build something new, something honest, and maybe even deeper. Amanda began to open up more about her own feelings, something she had always struggled with. She told her father how, for years, she had feared that knowing the truth would make him stop loving her. That maybe, deep down, she didn't feel she deserved to be loved the way he did. It was the first time she had ever admitted that, even to herself. Her father listened carefully. Then he said something that stayed with her forever. Love isn't something you earn, Amanda. It's something you give. And I gave it to you freely. Not because I had to, but because I wanted to, every single day. Those words broke her all over again, but in a healing way. For the first time, she truly saw the depth of his love, a love that didn't need to be justified or labeled, a love that had been there from the very beginning, unconditional and unshaken. They started spending more time together. Small things, gardening, watching old movies, sharing stories. There was a new honesty between them now. No more masks, no more fear. Just two people trying to find each other again in the middle of everything that had gone unsaid for too long. Amanda still carried guilt, but now she also carried hope. Hope that broken bonds could be mended, that even the deepest wounds could begin to close, if both hearts were still beating for the same connection. And her father? He smiled more. Not like before, not yet, but it was real, and it was enough. One quiet Sunday, Amanda and her father sat together on the back porch watching the sunset. The silence between them felt different now, comfortable, peaceful. After a long pause, he turned to her and said, "You know, it still hurts. But I'm glad I know, because now everything is real. Amanda nodded, her eyes stinging. "I'm sorry I didn't trust you with the truth," she said softly. I didn't want to lose you." He took her hand, his grip gentle but firm. "You never could," he replied. "You're my daughter, not because I raised you, but because I chose you every day, even now." That moment sealed something between them that had been shattered. It wasn't about blood. It wasn't even about the lie. It was about love, the kind that endures even after it's been tested, broken, and put back together in a different shape. From then on, Amanda lived with a deeper awareness of the cost of secrets, of the strength it takes to forgive, and of the kind of love that stays, even when it's been betrayed. Her relationship with her father wasn't perfect, but it was honest. And in that honesty, there was a new kind of beauty. Some scars never fully fade, but they can become part of the story that makes love even more powerful. Amanda knew that now, and so did her father. Amanda's story is one of love, mistakes, and the courage to rebuild what was broken. She thought she was protecting her father by hiding the truth. But in the end, it was truth, raw and painful, that allowed them to find each other again, this time with no illusions, no masks, and no lies. What she learned changed her forever. Love that is real doesn't depend on perfection. It survives the storm. It listens. It forgives. And most importantly, it stays. Her secret had nearly destroyed the man who loved her most. But in facing it, she gave them both a chance to start again. So many people live with silent guilt, afraid that the truth will cost them everything. But Amanda's journey shows us something deeper. Sometimes it's only by breaking what we think is whole that we uncover what was truly unbreakable all along. If this story moved you, take a moment to like this video, share it with someone who needs to hear it, and subscribe to the channel for more stories that speak to the heart. Your support helps us keep bringing real emotions and powerful life lessons to light. Thank you for staying with me until the end. See you in the next story.